I learned to fly an airplane when I was 45 years old. And I really want you to sit with that number for a second, because I certainly did. 45. I had a company, a son, a mortgage, every reasonable, responsible, grown-up reason to stay both feet flat on the ground. And one Tuesday afternoon, I was sitting in the left seat of a small single-engine plane at the end of the runway with an instructor beside me, and my hands were shaking on the yoke. I remember him looking over at me, and he said 4 words I have never forgotten. He said, "It's your airplane now." My heart was beating quickly, my palms went wet, my whole body was screaming one word, one very old, very familiar word: danger. And here is the strange part. I had felt that exact feeling before, precisely that one. Same racing heart, same wet palms, same voice. I had felt it in a boardroom about to say the thing that no one else would say. I had felt it the first time I said I love you to someone and actually meant it. I had felt it standing in a doorway I knew I had to walk through and could not make my feet move. Same signal every single time. And on that runway, it hit me. The thing I have now spent 25 years trying to understand. My body could not tell the difference between the most dangerous moment of my life and the most alive moment of my life. I have spent 25 years in rooms with people at their hardest moments of their lives, first as a client, in the chair, being coached, trying to transform my own life, and for the last 12 years, coaching on the other side of the room, with founders, executives, whole leadership teams, people who are brilliant and capable and completely stuck. And in all that time, in all those rooms, I have come to believe something that sounds so simple that I am amazed it's true. That every feeling, emotion you have had is really only 2 emotions. And we have been misnaming them our whole life. And here it is. Love and fear. Love is a state of open, connected, undefended being, whereas fear is a state of contracted, protective, defended being. And every other emotion you have ever had, every single one, is one of those 2 wearing a different name. Let me show you what I mean. And I know how that sounds. It sounds like a bumper sticker, but stay with me because it's not. See, anger feels like it's its own thing, right? Its own fire. But anger is just fear that has finally found something to push against. Anxiety is fear thrown forward into a future that hasn't happened yet and may never happen at all. Jealousy is fear wearing the costume of love, terrified of losing the very thing it claims to cherish. And shame is fear turned inward until you become convinced that the danger is you. Now, here's the part that stopped me cold when I first understood it. There's a piece of this that science has known for years. The feeling we call excitement and the feeling we call anxiety in your body, they are almost the identical signal. The racing heart, the tight chest, the buzz under the skin. Your body floods with the very same adrenaline, whether you're about to run from something or run to it. The chemistry doesn't know the difference. Only the story does. It's either welcoming or threatening. That's it. The whole difference between the best day of your life and the worst. The same fuel in the engine. The one word deciding where the plane is pointed. And on the other side of the sky, there's love. And love has just as many disguises. Joy is love expressed outward. Gratitude is love looking backward. Hope is love reaching forward. Compassion is love extended to someone else's pain. And peace is simply love with nothing left to defend. So underneath the enormous vocabulary we carry around for what we feel, all of it, there are really only 2 directions your nervous system can ever move: toward connection or toward protection. Everything else is a dialect. Now, I have to be honest with you about something because it matters. I'm not sitting here telling you that fear is bad or isn't. On that runway, if fear had been pointing at real danger, like a storm cell or a failing engine, that fear would have been the smartest thing in the cockpit. Fear in the presence of true danger is intelligent. It's necessary. It has kept our species alive. And love is not always the soft option. Sometimes love is the harder of the two to choose because love is the one that asks you to stay open in at every moment when your instinct has telling you to close and go. So this was never about good feelings and bad feelings. It's about one question, a question that once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Because in any moment that matters, fear and love doesn't just make you feel differently. They make you ask a completely different question. Fear asks, what could I lose? Love asks, what could I build? Same moment, same facts, same runway, two completely different questions. And here is what I have watched in room after 25 years in those chairs. The person who stays stuck is almost never the one who lacks the ability. They're simply answering the question fear handed them. What could this cost me? And they have mistaken it for the only question in the room. They don't need more courage, more information. They need to notice that a different question was available the entire time. So let me take you back to the runway. It's your airplane now. And in that moment, I had both questions in front of me. I could feel them. What could I lose? Everything. Control, dignity, possibly in a small plane considerably more than dignity. Or what could I build? A version of me who, at 45, with a full life and every excuse in the world, decided that the second half of her story would be written from the open state, not the defended one. So I pushed the throttle forward, and I want to tell you what I've learned about the sky, because it wasn't what I expected. See, I fly in clear weather. That's the rule I fly by and was given by Transport Canada, and I keep it. I don't go looking for storms, and I don't pretend I'm ready for them. Staying out of the storm isn't fear, it's respect. And here's what nobody tells you. Even on the most beautiful, cloudless days, the air is never truly still. There is always wind, and the hardest thing I do in that airplane doesn't happen in a storm. It happens on that clear blue afternoon, on final approach with a crosswind, pushing the plane sideways while I'm trying to land it. And I have watched myself meet that wind completely two different ways. One is white-knuckled, fighting the airplane, gripping the yoke like the wind is its fault, defended. And the other is hands loose, working with the air, letting it move me and correcting me softly, meeting the gusts instead of bracing against it, open. Same wind, same runway, same pilot, two completely different landings. So we don't get to remove the wind. We only get to choose how we meet it, open or defended. That's the whole job. That's flying. And as it turns out, that's living too. So here's what I want to leave you with. Not a philosophy, a tool. One you can use now in the next hard conversation you have, the next email you're afraid to send, or the next doorway you can't make your feet move through. In the moment, the real moment when your heart is pounding and your palms are wet and that old word is screaming at you, you ask yourself one question. Right now, am I moving toward connection or am I moving toward protection? That's it. That's the whole practice. You are not trying to get rid of the fear. You never will and you shouldn't. You are simply noticing which direction you are facing, connection or protection. Because here is the one thing that is always mercilessly true. You cannot be fully open and fully protected at the same time. Every moment asks you to choose. Most of us go our whole lives believing we have 1,000 feelings and no control over any of them. But you don't have 1,000 feelings. You have two. And you are not made at the mercy. You are not at the mercy, my bad, of the weather. You are the pilot. It's your airplane too. I hand you the controls. Thank you.